Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast, presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the MitsuTimes podcast. My guest today is Mr. Kodee Thompson. He is the owner and driver of a very cool 3G. How are you today, sir?
Hey, pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to have you on. I love people doing something a little bit different, and you were certainly doing that.
Yeah, I was kind of born and raised around the racetracks and started doing it myself as soon as I could.
Awesome. So is that what kind of got you into oval racing in the first place? It's kind of just what was around growing up?
Yeah, yep. My dad and my uncles raced, and now me and my brothers, my cousin, and my uncle all race.
Awesome. Well, what made you choose the 3G Eclipse as your platform? Was it something that that drew you to the car in particular, or was it just something that you came across?
A little bit of both. Really, I'd always had 4 cylinders before, and then I was kind of like, oh, I want to try something different. This one's got a V6, and I'm kind of a foreign car guy myself, so I was like, well, let's give it a try.
Okay. Well, so what's the story behind the one that you end up choosing? Obviously, it's either a GT or a GTS. What all have you done to it to evolve it into the circle track car that it is now?
Well, this car's actually been around quite a while. The original owner had a lot of success with it. They built it, and then we just ended up with it at the end of this last season. And so we really just started tearing into it the last couple weeks after the season started. But we're trying to come up with some kind of plans, make it a little bit quicker for next year. But it did have plenty of power, and it handled pretty well.
So what all did the previous owner do to it to kind of get it ready for oval track racing?
So the engine and transmission and ECU are all stock. But as far as the suspension goes, it has fully adjustable coilovers. Basically the suspension is all fully adjustable. The drivetrain is still stock.
Okay. Is that to fit the rules of the where you race at?
I think when the car was first built, that's probably how the rules were. Now they're more open, and you can kind of do some modifications and engine work.
Okay. Well, a lot of people who listen to this are straight line drag race kind of guys. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes oval racing different from drag racing or circuit racing? How different does the car have to be for something like that?
So I'm sure just like with drag racing and whatnot, there's still a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into it, but circle track racing, it's a lot more about the suspension setup. I guess I'm not familiar with street and drag racing, but circle track racing is just a lot of time trying to get the car to turn how you want it and getting everything dialed in for making those sharp corners.
Okay, so the fine tuning really has to do a lot with the suspension.
Yeah, for the most part. And then if you can get the gearing right, that's really important with these cars.
So what kind of suspension is this 3G Eclipse running to make it handle the oval?
So when we got it, it was pretty much set up. It has all adjustable coilover suspension, and we run negative camber on the right side and then some positive camber on the left side. And yeah.
And I seen you talking about maybe trying to swap in a 6G75 or something like that, something with a little more displacement. Right now, it's still all stock 3.0, like you said. Is that the plan in the future? Is to maybe go to something with a bigger displacement?
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Like I said, we're pretty much new to these cars though, so I'm still trying to learn what swaps into where and what you can do to this engine or that engine. Because with the circle track stuff, we have to remain all naturally aspirated, no turbo or superchargers.
Yeah, I think the 3.8 6G75 would just love something like that. In my opinion, I hope that that's one of your potential routes that you go down. That would be really cool to see.
All right, yeah. I mean, um, I'm still trying to learn what all can swap where, and that's why I joined that group, and it's been really helpful with everyone offering their advice and opinions.
Good, good, good. So what about tires, Cody? What kind of tires are you running to make this thing stick to the road?
So we run Hoosier 790 tires. They're 14-inch wheels.
Okay, just some steel wheels, I would imagine.
Yep, just like Bassett or Bart wheels.
Gotcha. So Cody, from the time you come through the gates and unload, what's a typical race night look like for you and your crew?
So where I race, we show up about 2, 3 o'clock, start qualifying at 4. Um, and we get 2 qualifying sessions. So we go out for the first session, see how the car feels, make sure everything's running right, and then maybe make some adjustments according to the track temp and whatnot and what the weather's like. And then we really give it our all that second session. Racing starts at 6:45. We do our heat races, and then our features are usually 25 lap features, and then that's where we wrap it up for the night.
Okay. So I know you said you got this card and it's pretty much already set up. Has there been, or have you found anything so far that's kind of been challenging in order to get this car to go around the oval?
A little bit. We had some issues at one track where the right front wheel was kind of bouncing going through the corners. And we weren't exactly sure what was going on, but we found that it was just way too stiff, so we had to soften up that right front.
Okay. And I know you said that this car's been around for a while. After you kind of got behind the wheel of it, was you kind of surprised at the performance? You know, based on what your initial thought was.
Yeah, actually, I was. The main track that I race is a little flat quarter mile. It's called Galesburg Speedway in Galesburg, Michigan. It's a real flat track, and the V6s in general kind of don't wind up as quick as some of these VTEC 4 cylinders and whatnot. And I was impressed with it. We had it out 5 times, picked up 3 heat race wins, and then had some pretty strong feature runs too at the end of the year.
Oh wow. Okay. The plan is to run this car again next season, I would imagine.
Yeah, yep, we got the whole body tore off it right now. Actually, we're gonna put a template late model body on it and just go through the whole thing, make sure everything's up to par before we go again.
That's cool. Definitely love to see that. So you said that your local track is normally your go-to. Do you have any other tracks that you frequent that you really like?
Yeah, so when I first started racing, I raced dirt tracks for 6 years, and I-96 Speedway was my home track, and then I switched down to Galesburg, which is the asphalt. Um, had some success around there, but as of right now, we pretty much run Galesburg or Kalamazoo Speedway. There's a track called M40 about an hour and a half south. We'll go down there, but next year I'm hoping to do a little bit of both, dirt and asphalt.
Okay, that'll be really cool.
This episode of the MitsuTimes podcast is brought to you by Cosmic Transmissions. They're the world's leader for GetRag DCT 470 performance upgrades, diagnostics, and repair. As an authorized Dodson Motorsports dealer and installer, and a member of the Automatic Transmission Rebuilders Association, you can be assured that your costly transmission is in the best hands possible. With manufacturer prototype testing, repair product development, long-term durability test, and component destructive failure testing all done in-house. They have the experience and knowledge necessary to keep these transmissions performing at their best, with basic service to complete overhaul. Find out more about their products and services at builttrans.com.
Have you? I know you said you've already taken 3 heat victories. Have you had any like memorable battles on the track that really stand out to you that you really enjoyed with this car?
Yeah, just there was one night I won the heat race, and then the feature, I was leading about half of it. We had a yellow come out. The tires were just gone at that point. Had a couple fast guys get around us, and Ended up finishing third, but my cousin won the race, and that was his first ever win, so I was happy for him.
That's always a good time.
Yeah.
Well, Cody, so when you're at these tracks, you said that there's a lot of four cylinders and Hondas and stuff. How do people react when they see the V6 Eclipse? That you're about to take out onto the track.
Well, honestly, I've had quite a few people come up to me and ask me if it was an Acura. I'm like, no, this is Mitsubishi V6, and they're all real surprised just because it's pretty much all four cylinders. You might have 3 or 4 V6s out of the 50 cars there a week.
Wow. Okay. And are so of the four cylinders, is it a lot of like older Fox body four cylinder Mustangs, or is it a lot of front wheel drive stuff?
So some tracks will do a mix with rear wheel and front wheel, but most of the tracks around here are sticking to front wheel drives. You'll see a lot of Cavaliers, Neons, Hondas, Ford Escorts even.
So it's a good mix of imports and domestics.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay. So, Cody, once you get a little bit more, you know, messing with the drivetrain and stuff with this car, are you looking to tune anything in particular to help deliver that power when you need it coming off the corners?
Honestly, a big part of it would be if we could get the gearing a little better. At Galesburg, my home track, I'm only hitting like 5,600 RPM at the straightaway.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we're kind of just trying to figure out that gearing.
You'll have to fact check me on this because I'm certainly no expert. But the GT and the GTS have different gear ratios, so maybe that's something to look into.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea.
So, Cody, what do you do like in between races? How do you prep the car and make sure that it's ready to go next time out?
So every other week we do the oil change, but weekly you're doing nut and bolt checks, just going through, make sure nothing's broke that you didn't catch the week before. Always checking the oil and the coolant, just like any other car guy.
Yep. Making sure nothing comes off.
Yep.
So, Cody, have you broken anything like mechanically in spectacular fashion that took you out of a race?
With my Acura, we blew the engine up pretty well. Sent a rod right through the oil pan, ruined the head. It was a good time. We went through actually 3 engines that year and 2 transmissions.
Thought them things were supposed to be reliable.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess not when you're thrashing on them. So, Cody, what is it about this car that you talked about putting a new body on it and going out and doing a little bit of dirt, a little bit of asphalt? What is it that about this car that kind of motivates you to want to push it?
I've just kind of always been the different guy. The cars I've raced, I've had a Mazda 3, a Volkswagen Jetta. I always like to be the different guy, I guess, and I just want to have success with something that's, not everybody else is having success with.
Man, I relate to that so much. That's definitely me to a T right there. So, Cody, who is it that helps you keep this car running and race ready, and going out to the track and helping you focus on the driving so they can focus on the mechanical stuff?
There's a lot that goes into it, I suppose. I keep the car at my dad's house, so he does a lot of the maintenance and he helps get the car around and hauling it. And then I have the family support that comes to the track every week and supports me, morally and mentally and whatnot. And that's my mom and stepdad, grandma, siblings. My girlfriend, she's really helpful with everything. And then, yeah, a couple sponsors.
Kind of got it like a family affair going.
Yeah, it's a blast. And then my cousins and uncle and aunt are out there, and it's just a fun time.
Good. So, Cody, let's say I'm listening to this. I own a 3G Eclipse, and I want to take it out and do some oval track racing with it as well. What advice would you give me for having the most success with my car?
I would say a lot of it's just setup. With it being a bit of a bigger car than some of the little Escorts and Neons, you just kind of have to. It's hard to get advice from those guys because their cars are shorter wheelbase, they're lighter, so it's just kind of making sure you get it dialed into where it wants to go left.
Yeah. Well, Kodee, do you have like any goals in mind that you want to achieve with this car?
Well, next year we're not entirely sure if we're gonna go points racing or just bounce around. Um, I'd say I'd definitely like to get a couple feature wins and a handful of heat race wins. And if we do go points racing, I'd like to get my another championship.
Okay. How many races are there in a typical season?
So on our track schedule, there's about 16. But if you bounce around, you can run a whole lot. They go from April to September up here.
Gotcha. So plenty to keep you busy, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Well, Kodee, where can people find and follow you on social media so they can see some more of your oval track 3G doing something a little bit different?
So I'm on Facebook, Kodee Thompson Racing. I have a TikTok. It's Kodee A Thompson. And then we do have a YouTube channel, Thompson Racing.
Okay. Well, Kodee, at the end, I always give people a chance to give a thanks or a shout out to anybody who's helped them get their car where it is, anybody who's helped them get, where they are personally. Is there anybody that you want to give a thanks or a shout out to?
Yeah, pretty much everybody I listed before. My dad, girlfriend, Kayla, my mom, stepdad, grandma, basically the whole family. They know who they are. And then I have a great sponsor, a good friend named Ken Taylor at Bella Bay Realty. He always helps us out.
Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Kodee, for taking the time to come on here and tell your story. I hope that you go out there and kick some ass next year.
Yeah.
Get all those wins like you're talking about.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. I definitely like to hear back. Keep in touch, and we'll see how you do.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.